Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Craftsman handheld leaf blower. Customer complaint is that the rope broke. This is a rewind repair job, usually pretty easy. But for whatever reason, when they designed this blower, they decided to go the difficult route and hide the starter mechanism inside the blower instead of hanging it on the outside here, where it's easy to get at. Considering it's one of the biggest wear items on the piece of equipment, you would have thought that they would think it through a little bit better and make it a little easier to service. Now, this isn't a hard job, but it can be a little intimidating because the whole damn thing's got to come apart, right? The other thing you got to be careful of is if you're repairing this blower for somebody and you're expecting to get paid, you have to be careful about how much time you spend on this machine. You could easily exceed the value or replacement value of the machine if you're dinking around. I think these sell for like $130. So usually when I get to the halfway point on a repair, I start calling people and asking if they want to go through with it, or finding out if there was any other issues with the equipment that maybe those issues plus this time involved in a rewind repair might send you over the top of the value of the machine. So those are all things you want to consider before actually digging into a repair like this. I mean, if it took you a half an hour the first time you ever tried doing one of these, and let's just say your labor rate was in the $80 range, that's $40 repair, a third of the value of the machine. So you want to think about those things before you dig into repairing something like this. Actually, the customer will want to think about it more than you will. But your reputation is something you have to consider as well. If you're going to gouge people for repairs, they're not going to come back. So as you can see, we have the front plastic cover off the engine. We have the back blower housing half cover off the engine. We remove the impeller. Now we're going to remove the handle half on top. We're doing that so we can access, I think, the throttle cable is what we're getting at here. We need to pull the motor from the red blower housing in order to gain access to the rewind assembly. Nice, huh? Kind of group the screws together when you're doing this so that it makes it easier to put back together. So at this point, we're going to remove the throttle linkage from the handle. And there's a spring in there, so pay attention to how that's oriented. Sometimes I like to put these things back together when I lay them on the bench so that when I pick it back up, it's in the right order. So there we go. Simple, right? There's our starter mechanism. Now there's a push nut holding that pulley on the blower housing. If you wanted to remove that push nut, you'd probably want to cut it off of there so you don't wreck the plastic housing. You would need to have a push nut that size in order to reassemble it. I try to do this without taking any of that apart. One of these blowers, I don't remember which brand, that whole red assembly with the starter in it was one part number. There was no buying a starter spring. And I'm not saying that's the case on this Craftsman model, but I know in the past I've worked on some that were like that. So this is really no big deal here. We just feed the new recoil rope through the starter pulley. Kind of flex things out of our way a little bit there. Run the rope through the ferrules that guide it. I mean, this is really why didn't they put the starter on the outside of the engine? That's why the rope breaks. It's got to run through all them crazy curves and bends. Just keeps wearing on it. So I don't know what's going on here, if we are playing Boy Scout or what, making fancy knots, but there you have it. The spring inside here is pretty generous. You can wind it up, put a lot of wraps on that thing to get some decent tension on the starter rope. And when you do that, once you're comfortable with how tight it is, pull the rope all the way out and then make sure that the starter pulley will still turn, meaning you're not bottoming out the recoil spring when the rope's fully extended. So that's your repair. The rest of this is all just putting it back together. And then in the end we get to see if there's any screws left laying on the bench and give it a test run. Little ugga dugga. Oh yeah, that feels good. We'll run all our screws back in. And then the probably only, I don't know, technical part of this repair is making sure you put together the throttle cable and trigger the proper way. A little bit of fiddling around to get everything to line up right, but really not that big a deal. You got the cable that's got to go in its special little holder. You got a spring on the throttle mechanism that's got to go back the way it came apart. Get your wire guided properly for your stop switch. And then just slap the other handle half back on there. Run your screws in, and we're getting closer to seeing if we're wasted any time or not. You know, a lot of times these repairs come in, and when it's a broken starter rope, a lot of times they break because the customer spent 45 minutes pulling on the rope, couldn't get the machine started. So it's kind of important to pre-diagnose these repairs before you dig into them. So maybe the customer was pulling and pulling and pulling because the thing's got a scored cylinder, or it needs a complete fuel system overhaul. Look at that, one screw left. We got a home for it. So my point is, make sure that on any starter repair, make sure that that's all it needs. Just a case of a broken rope for natural reasons, not for other reasons that the machine's broken. So what do we got? We're gonna hit the purge bulb a few times, make sure there's fuel we're pumping in there, and give it a start and see if it runs. So that's all I got for you on the Craftsman handheld blower starter rope repair. Thanks for watching. Later.